I assume this is for me.
No, this is for you.
Oh, dear God, no.
I put some light on the curtain.
For our ambiance.
For our ambiance. No one's ever going to see it.
I was going to say, like, I didn't put on makeup. Is this videoed? No, it's just us.
There's a 360 camera, but you can't see it.
Okay, great. So I'm going to look like one of those bug-eyed fish things.
Yeah. It's in the mic.
Great. Give me a still. That's my new headshot.
Kia ora and welcome everyone to another episode of Broadway and Other Kiwi Dreams, a podcast exploring the lives and minds of theatre practitioners in and around the Aotearoa performing arts industry. My name is James Shera and today I'm joined by the wonderful Kathleen Burns. Kathleen is an actor, improviser and director. She spent the last 21 years as a jester at the Court Theatre. She co-created one of the best improv shows in the country, Perfuct Storm, completely unbiased opinion of course, which is on every month at Little Andromeda Theatre. And she has just directed her first professional musical at the Court Theatre, Fun Home. In this episode we get to chatting about how she got her start in theatre sports, and then transitioned directly into the Court Jesters at 18 years old. We talk about her original university studies, which she dropped out of just before finishing because she wanted to become an actor. All this and more in this conversation with Kathleen Burns on Broadway and Other Kiwi Dreams. That you wore the Fun Home.
I know. I didn't even wear because I've got another one. I've got the T-shirt. Have you seen the T-shirt?
No.
So I have this fun bit that I do where I wear both, and they're like, "Oh, nice T-shirt, nice jersey." And I'm like, look at this, the T-shirt." And then they ask me what's underneath, and I tell them that I've got it tattooed on my tit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you do.
And then one day.
Well, Fun Home's what I wanted to start with anyway.
Oh,
which
really?
Is why I pointed that out.
What a segue.
What a segue, because it's kind of the most recent thing.
It's definitely the most recent big thing I've done in my most recent direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the experience of Fun Home?
It was huge.
It was huge.
It was huge.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I had the best time. Every day going to rehearsal, it was like waking up to Christmas. Just, that feeling of I'm doing something I'm really good at and it's working. And yeah, it was great.
Was that your first musical that you directed?
It's the first musical that I've directed for professional actors. I directed 2 musicals before for NASDA. So I directed Spelling Bee and The Wedding Singer.
Gotcha.
And I'm really, really grateful that I got to have those as a practice at seeing the huge arc of something.
Yeah.
And so I'm very grateful I got that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's like the preference level of directing
Versus acting.
musicals versus directing a normal play?
Directing plays versus
Yeah,
directing musicals. I haven't, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Because also the funny thing as well is that the other main stage that I've directed had music in it.
True.
It wasn't a musical, but it had a lot of music in it. And I don't know. I haven't done enough to know.
Yeah, fair. And with Fun Home, it kind of dives into tough aspects of life or tough topics.
Yeah.
How was that like traversing that area? Because especially with the kids in it as well.
Yeah. I don't even know where to begin unpacking that because there are so many different aspects to what makes the material different, and it's going to be different for the different people that you're working with. And I can remember something useful that Ross Gumbley said to me as a director, and I could tell that he was just kind of like trying to, prime me for things to come or whatever. And he's directing me in a show, and there were 7 people in the cast, and he turns to me and he goes, "See how I've got 7 people in my cast right now? That means I need 7 different styles of management." And so, in Fun Home, it really was just another learning curve of everyone has different needs.
Yeah.
Everyone's okay or not okay with different things. And, I don't know, I just tried to heighten my sensitivity and be very attentive, and also just be really work focused. This is the story we're telling. This is the text.
Yeah.
And how do we interpret that in a responsible way?
Yeah.
With the kids, gosh, those kids were amazing. In terms of like dealing with the heavy material and the kids. So before the kids were cast, like I remember when they were at the callback, all of the parents sat in the foyer with Tim Bain, and Tim just went through the entire, like, essentially like trigger or content warning list with the parents. So there were no surprises for them going in. They knew everything. And with the kids, we just sort of answered questions as they came. And, you know, sometimes it's enough to give just enough of an answer, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Like not dive all the way into it, but
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah, especially seeing as well in the cast, you have kids that are at total different developmental levels.
Totally.
And but also we had huge support as well, like Amy Straker as a child's performance coach. We had incredible chaperones, so there was a lot of wraparound support on that journey.
Yeah. Here comes another segue.
Oh God, here we go.
Speaking of kids.
Yeah, no, I don't have any. No.
Great, moving on.
I can't believe he asked a woman a question about having children.
No, I wanted to talk about you as a kid.
Right. Okay, no, the rumours are true. I was once a kid. Yes.
Once, yeah. You didn't come fully formed into this world.
No, I don't think I've come fully formed as an adult. I'm permanently like one of three ages. I think I'm either like 7 or 25 or 80.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those three permanently.
Where are you at the moment?
Today, I think I'm trying to be 25 today. Because tonight I've got, I'm doing the early late show, which is like scriptless for kids. So I'm like, I got to channel some youthful vigour.
Yeah, you have to be somewhere between 7 and 25.
I hope so. That's what I'm aiming for. So I'm aging down rapidly before your eyes right now.
Let's age down all the way.
All the way. We're going back.
Did you perform as a kid, like during primary school and stuff like that? Were you like, especially with you being a comedian and an improviser, were you like funny? Were you a funny kid? Were you a class clown sort of thing?
I was a really, really good girl. And like I would always get like the certificates for like including others and nothing kick-ass, just like that sort of thing. I definitely knew I was funny. So I went to a very, very small primary school. Like I was one of 4 Form 2s. Back in the day where you had Form 2s.
Yes.
So it was very, very, very small, out in the country kind of thing. We would have that one performance at the end of the year that you'd do for the parents or whatever down at the hall.
Yeah.
You know, I'd participate in that. I don't know. I think that one of the very first times that I was like, it's like clear to me that I'm good at speaking in front of people and that's not always a normal thing, was doing like the Belfast Rotary speech competition. Do you know what I mean? And like very, very low stakes. But I kind of always knew I was just good at talking in front of people, and I could figure out that for some people that was a huge deal, and for me it wasn't so much. I think it was because there are no artists in my family. I do not come from a theatre world, anything like that world at all. My dad's a professional basketball coach. And so I just grew up watching him very confidently and calmly and like it's nothing, speaking in front of large groups of people with a booming voice in a basketball stadium and like it's nothing. And so I think I just thought it was a normal skill.
Yeah, to talk in front of people.
Yeah. But it wasn't until I was like 15, 16 that I kind of went, is there a drama class I could maybe take? Or, you know. Yeah, I got tricked into being in my first theatre sports team at high school. I didn't go for it or anything. They were just like, you're a little class clown. Why don't you'd probably be good at this.
Yeah, we'll see.
And
you
now look at me
else.
now. Professional smartass, which is very silly.
Very silly.
Very silly.
Well, speaking of theatre sports, as you were doing that, did it kind of click for you that is what you wanted to do?
Yeah. I hope this doesn't sound arrogant, but I can remember, like I went to every scared scriptless I could as a teenager. I'd have this stack of tickets next to my bed just growing and growing because I loved it. And I adored the jesters and everything. But I always knew when I was watching it, I was like, I can do that. I can do that. I just knew.
Mm-hmm.
I've always known, even before I was trained or whatever, I've just always, and I've never had that feeling of, I'm going to make it big, whatever the fuck that means. That has never been the feeling, or I'm going to be rich, or never fame or anything like that. But I've always known, even before I was trained, I was like, I know I'm an actor. I know I am.
And then you got in, like, quite young as well.
I did, yeah, I was 17.
17. That must have been insane.
It was insane, especially for someone who had no appreciation at all for like the wider landscape of the local industry. When I was a jester, I didn't know what NASDA was.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't know what it was, let alone that I would eventually go there.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did go to uni before NASDA though,
I
right?
did, yeah. Yeah.
To study psychology and gender studies.
I'm feeling so stalked right now.
I spent maybe an hour stalking you.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Okay, well.
Mainly I found one article.
One article?
And it's just described your whole life. And I was like, great.
Okay, great. Well, you don't even need to have this conversation, really, do you?
Yeah, no. You can go and read that article if you don't want to listen to this.
Yeah, no, I studied in first year. I was a law psychology double major with gender studies and classics and logic paper, all sorts.
Yeah.
But I got 2.5 years in while I'm being a court jester.
Out of 3 years?
What was that?
Out of 3 years?
Yeah, 2.5 years in out of a 3-year degree.
Yeah.
And then I just had that overwhelming, I don't know if anyone's felt this, but the overwhelming feeling of I cannot take one more step in the wrong direction, even though it makes no sense because I'm, 6 months off finishing this degree or whatever. I'm 1 semester off, and it was just like, absolutely not. I can't even put my brain into it. I can't visualize a future with that. I find it hard to visualize the future in any case. But it was through dear friends of mine, Kali Kopai and Cam Clayton, that they were like, here's a monologue, here's a song, you're going to go to this audition. For what now? For NASDA. For who now? Yeah.
Not for what now?
No, I have never worked for what now. That is entirely true.
And I will never.
And I will
I refuse.
never.
Then NASDA.
Yeah. So I auditioned for NASDA and, studied for 3 years there while I was still... So I had sort of 6 years of being a court jester and like a corporate entertainer kind of under my belt and as my way to pay my rent while I'm at NASDA. Yeah.
I had a question of, like, did NASDA support that? But I guess being that you'd already been doing it for 6 years... It was surely they kind of must have, or no?
You'd think that.
Yeah.
And okay, I don't mean this as any shade. I learnt so much from my tutors, and I really hope they're not listening because I hope this doesn't sound shady. But I remember my audition for NASDA, and I do my bits and stuff, and they looked at each other and they looked at my paper and then they said to me, now it says here that you're working as a jester for the Court Theatre. You do realise that the NASDA program is so intense, you're not going to be able to do that. And so I said...
At 11 p.m. on a Friday when you won't be at NASDA.
Well, there is that, but there's also like the Tuesday workshops, there's whatever, there's things. But when they said this to me, I said, oh, okay, don't choose me then. Yeah.
You know your priorities.
So arrogant. But I mean, one of the main reasons why I was like drawn to NASDA is because I wanted to keep working while I was studying.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't really matter where you go and where you train, whether it's in the industry or not in the industry or whatever. But you've got to train. And yeah, I've learned just as much from entertaining drunk people very, very late at night for less money than what I'm worth. Just as much as doing that than from paying whatever I paid to NASDA to educate me.
Yeah. And how was that going between the two? Because at NASDA, it's not a comedy school.
No, it's not.
You learn acting or you learn musical theatre.
Yeah.
How was that transitioning?
Great. I felt like I never transitioned.
Yeah.
When I was at NASDA, I felt like the least NASDA-ish person to have ever gone to NASDA, which I wouldn't be surprised if, ironically, that's a common feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I ever fully transitioned into full NASDA status.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever.
And I guess it would be a common feeling because NASDA kind of trains you to be a Broadway ensemble member, not in a bad way, but like that's what you're a triple threat. You're training to be a triple threat.
Yeah.
Whereas in Christchurch, it's not really a skill set that you need very often.
Well, it depends on how you've made your career. Like, I think, like, what's better than being a triple threat, a quadruple threat, a quintuple threat? Oh, I can't do anymore.
Dodeca
Dodeca millennia threat.
Yeah, as this is the technical term.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, I'm not the best singer, but the fact that I can sing a bit makes me a lot more employable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not a dancer, but I'm good in my body, makes me more employable. Yeah. So I think, I don't know, the more things you can have, the more likely you're going to be able to pay your rent next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially here, where you need to be a jack of all trades to survive.
Yep.
Whereas in, you went to the equity.
No, I couldn't be there.
No. James Buchanan was saying that in London, on the West End, you are one thing.
Yeah.
And they won't see you as anything else. Like if you do musical theatre, you do musical theatre. Yeah. Whereas here it's the opposite.
or you might in the UK I'm a pantomime person for 2 years of my life or something. Or, yeah. But contracts are shorter here. Mm-hmm. It's Yeah,
you just have to be able to do a lot more.
Yeah.
Christchurch people are more skilled than West End people.
You heard it here first. That's the takeaway.
That's the takeaway. Hot take. Number 1. So you're still going with Jesters?
Yeah.
After all this time?
Wow, the look in your eyes as you say you're still
it's a great
going with the
thing
Jesters.
That this is an audio podcast. No, like, how much is it?
They're holding me hostage, James. They're holding me hostage.
Do we need to call someone? Kathleen, tell me now. I've got my phone in my pocket. I'll do it.
I can't stop yes ending.
It's a problem. Has it changed? Have you witnessed growth in it in the time that you've been there?
Yeah, I think it's 21 years now that I've been a jester.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen so much change. I've seen cycles as well. Yeah. Like in Battlestar Galactica, how they say that thing of all of this has happened before and all of this will happen again.
Yes, of course. I know this. I know that quote.
You do?
No.
Oh, okay. Battlestar Galactica people, the remake, it's so good. Yeah, I do. I feel like I see cycles of, we're going to try this. Oh, that's got terrible consequences. Let's try this thing we tried before. Oh, but wait, there were those terrible consequences. What if we try this? Oh, wait a minute, that's the same thing as we tried before. Yeah. I've seen a lot of change. Some really great change. Some things I think are lost. This last year, I've really, really just tried to focus on just being a jester, just doing the shows. I feel like I've had phases in my life where I'm really trying to advocate for the position of contracting artists, and I think just this last year, I think I've just focused on just doing the shows, just doing the shows.
And how's that been?
It's good. Yeah. It's good. It's good. I get excited when I see we've got some really cool young apprentices at the moment. Mm-hmm. That makes me very excited. Yeah.
Great. And you also have been doing a lot of main stage and other shows at the court as well. Mm-hmm. Looking at your list of court credits, there's quite a lot. Yeah. There's quite a few.
Yeah, it's crazy when you stack them up like that, eh?
Mm-hmm. And they do on the website.
When I look at that, which is not very often, I'm like, wow.
My nightly look at my court theatre credits.
Every morning when I Google myself, no. It's so weird when I think about that. like, you know that thing I was saying before about how I find it hard to imagine the future. I also find it hard sometimes to visualize the past. A lot of the things that I've done or parts that I've played or whatever, there's just no way in hell that I ever would have dared to have dreamed it.
Yeah.
You know, some people like set goals and set dreams and they're like, yay, I achieved that. I'm like, thank God I don't set goals, because like I achieve things that I wouldn't have dreamed of.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I should be dreaming for more. Maybe I don't know. When we were in first year NESDA, they all sat you down and they go around and they ask you what your dreams are and what you want. Did they do that to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right. And like, I remember mine was just, look, I just want to make a living off being a performer and making stuff. That's what I want. Yeah. And it turns out I'm achieving that. So now I just wish I'd said, and be rich. Why didn't I dream for more?
Yeah, you would be rich now.
I would have been.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But you're rich with life.
With life. With a sense of fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any favourite projects at the court that
I've done?
Yeah.
Favourite for different reasons. I'm definitely a fan of Saving Grace, which was the first play for grown-ups that I did out of NESDA. And that's what I call them, plays for grown-ups, like proper plays. Yeah. Like, because Scriptless doesn't count, they're not grown-ups, they're drunken idiots.
Yeah,
and kids shows don't count. But first proper...
Kids shows count, but not in the way that their shows for adults.
You did right. And to be fair, I do think some of the greatest work I've ever done has only been seen by children. So, like, there is that. Yeah. But no, I was a big fan of Saving Grace, but that might just be like what it kind of meant to me at the time.
Yeah. How long after NESDA was that? Like straight after?
Yeah, a couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I auditioned for it while I was still at NESDA.
Yeah. One of my favourite
go on.
ones for you is a kids show.
Yeah.
It's the mole from
I knew
from Thumbelina.
I knew it.
It was one of my favourite like embodiments of a character I've seen.
Yeah, I know.
We bounce. The audience can't see this, but I'm holding my hands in front of me like a mole and bouncing.
And he's nailing it, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's captured it. Yeah,
Captured the essence.
Yeah, no, that's like, I think that might be one of my greatest artistic moments, was playing a mole in Thumbelina that only had one line, well, repeated line.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great.
And that's valid.
Yeah. I just want to thank the set designer for Jesus Christ Superstar for putting a revolve in that set that we were forced to perform on that was in no way, shape or form like appropriate for Thumbelina, but we did it anyway. And yeah, the revolve meant that I could do some cool physical gags. So yeah, I really like that.
Amazing.
Closest thing to a cartoon I've probably been.
Yeah. Have you thought about voice acting?
Oh yeah, I love it. I did the voice of a bike this year in a short film made by Andrew Todd.
Yeah.
It's this like kind of Stranger Things 80s kind of spooky children's story, but the characters are bikes.
Great. Incredible.
Yeah.
And your bike?
Yeah, I can't remember. I know, she was just like really, really keen, like, come on guys, don't worry. That sigil's not going to curse us. You know, that kind of thing.
Typecast.
Always telling people to not worry about witchcraft. Classic.
Yeah. Classic Kathleen Burns. Then you ended up directing, we've talked about this already a little bit, but directing your first main stage play, which was Flagons and Foxtrots. But you directed stuff before that, eh?
Only little things, like kids show, early late shows, just little bits and bobs, or like play readings and things like that. Yeah. But that was the first, it was a big step up. Yeah.
And how was it?
Wonderful.
How was that experience?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was so good. I think one of the best things that came out of Flagons and Foxtrots was that Cam Clayton lives in Christchurch now. Because I was like, I need a really specific skill set, and this is the guy who's got it. And he hadn't worked at the court before, and now he just cannot stop working at the court. So, you're welcome, Christchurch.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
for Cam Clayton.
Yeah.
You've done a bit of screen stuff as well.
Yeah. It's so strange. From the outside, things look like they're going really well, eh? Like, I've got this stacked up CV. Last week, I'm not even shitting you, last week I went to the New Zealand premiere of a feature I was in.
Yes.
Made here in Christchurch.
Yes.
From the outside, things are looking really good. And the world will never know until they listen to this that I've got no work. 3 months from now, I've got no work. Isn't this career so stupid?
It's wild.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I've
You've done some screen.
done a little bit. Not much, but a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A notable one is Sextortion.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Where you played a dominatrix.
Yes, Shona, the dominatrix.
Shona the dominatrix.
Who regrettably didn't get a last name. I think her last name is the dominatrix.
Maybe it is. Maybe
Maybe it is.
maybe her parents really knew what they wanted her to be.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy it versus being on stage? How do you enjoy this?
It's so different.
Screen, yeah.
It's so different. I was really lucky with Sextortion that the people that I was working with up there, you know, I felt like I was the least experienced person on set, and they still treated me with absolute respect, totally trusted my work, and I was just working in this humming machine of people very excellent at their jobs, and yeah, I adored making that project. We shot it leading up to the first COVID lockdown. We actually lost 2 days of shooting because the lockdown came into effect. So it was like we had, I think somebody in the crew knew someone in the government, and then we had a bit of a heads up that lockdown was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, we've got 24 hours to get 72 hours in the can.
Yeah.
Let's go. And it was just this panic rush of get it done before, but like so much social connection. And then goodbye everyone, I'm not going to see anyone for ages. It was truly bizarre.
Yeah. It's like a literal trial by fire.
Yeah.
To be go,
Yeah.
and then just stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's what happened with the whole world.
Yeah, but I loved it. Yeah. It's a weird thing because Sextortion wasn't scripted. It was definitely storyboarded, and what happened in each scene was, you know, you knew what was going to happen, and often they'd be like, okay, cool, so if you could use sup dicks as your first line, and then just sort of improvise from there. And sometimes they'll be like, okay, cool, can you give us another option? Cool, can you give us another option? And which is so much fun and plays to my skill set. But there's also a lot of like, oh my gosh, now I don't have control over which one they choose. Or, you know, so there's that kind of scary feeling.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah. Would you ever want to direct something that you're in? For that reason?
I doubt it. Oh, maybe this is too precious, but I always feel like red flag if a director is directing something that they're in, or if they are directing something that they've written, unless they've just got no bloody money or whatever, you know. But I'm always like, red flag.
Yeah.
I don't know, is that judgmental? Judge me, people. I'll see you in the comments.
Yeah. Perfuct Storm.
Perfuct Storm. Have you heard of that show?
Barely.
Yeah,
I think
barely.
in passing, in conversation. Yeah.
James is being funny because James actually lights it.
I do. I light it. And it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
Improv. I found that improv lighting is the most fun.
The most fun? Why is it the most fun?
Because you're kind of, a normal show, you go in days before and do the lighting plot. But then on the day, all you're doing is pressing a button.
Yep. Is there part of you that's like, anyone could do this? A bus driver could do this off the street right now.
Yeah.
Really?
Sometimes.
Oh.
Especially in a big theatre where you have the stage manager who's calling the show as well. So it's literally anyone can do it because someone's telling you when to press the button.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas with improv lighting, it's all you.
Yes.
And you are collaborating with the people on stage.
You are another player.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is why I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It is fun.
Yeah.
And I always enjoy, and I feel like we've kind of got this too. Like, I always form like just such strange, weird, close but distant relationships with particularly improv lighting people.
Yeah.
Because I'm collaborating with you, but I won't get to workshop with you.
Yeah.
I won't get, like, you know, you don't call the lighting, guys, we're gonna just practice doing a herald and, you know, some tag outs and sweeps today. You don't get the lighting person to come along and rehearse with you.
No.
So you form this strange and immediate creative collaborative relationship, but also such a physical distance.
Yeah. And a visual distance because you can't see me because
Yeah.
the lights are in your eyes.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. But I see you.
Yeah,
see
I know. I feel, I don't know. Do you feel closer to me than I feel to you? Do you think? Because of that?
That is a question that I don't know.
Because I feel like you get to see the inside of my soul
Yeah.
more than I get to see the inside of your soul.
You get to see the inside of my soul through colours
Colours.
and brightness.
Look, I'm just saying the inside of your hole is very colourful. If that's what we're...
As
Inside of your
right.
soul. Did I say hole?
oh.
I think I said hole. Definitely edit
quick,
that.
go to commercial.
Sponsors.
Me undies.
Oh my God. Oh no, you're never going to have me back. No, it turns out, anyway, I stalked you briefly. It looks like, from my looking, the only person that you've had back is Rebecca Head. Is that right? She got 2 cracks at it.
She got 2 cracks at it.
Yeah. Okay, great. I'm
did.
coming for you, Rebecca Head.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get 3.
Yeah. You need to create a puppet company first.
I haven't created a puppet company, but I have created puppet shows.
Yes. Well, next episode with Kathleen Burns will be all about puppet shows.
Yes, and it'll be me versus Rebecca Head.
Yeah. Showdown.
It'll be a showdown.
But that will mean that she's now had 3 and you only had 2.
Ah!
So, catch 22.
Oh, story of my life.
Perfuct Storm.
That's right.
How does that come to fruition?
You mean like how did it happen in the first place?
How did it come about? Yeah.
I just really wanted to play improv with a couple of friends, one of whom was no longer working with the other major company that I might still be a part of. And I just really, really missed playing with Emma Custon and Dan Bain, and I really wanted to play with them. Yeah. And yeah, so we just made this show. Yeah. We came up with our own concept and our own format, and it was largely born about because literally I had just done a show that had Ashley Bloomfield, like a character of Ashley Bloomfield in it, in Wellington, and Ashley Bloomfield came to see it. And I got to meet him afterwards, and it was just such a highlight of my life, and I just wanted to tell everyone that I could that I'd met Ashley Bloomfield with here's a series of jokes and bits that I've prepared earlier for your entertainment. Yeah. And so Perfuct is, we ask a question, each of the performers answers the question, and then a few people in the audience answer the question, and we improvise off these answers and stories. And I just wanted to tell everyone the story about meeting Ashley Bloomfield, and so literally that's why the concept came about, because I was like, this is an excuse for me to do this bit. Yeah.
For those who haven't seen Perfuct, Kathleen tells the same story every
No,
week. Every time.
No. So the first question was, and it's a very good question, you can use it as a conversation starter next time you're at an awkward party, is have you ever met a famous person? Because it can just bring out the most wild, like, oh my gosh, I've had this chance encounter with blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And yeah, so everyone's kind of got a cool story about that. And yeah.
And what is a famous person?
What? Well, that is it. Not everyone's famous to someone. I don't know.
Maybe they are.
I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. That's the philosophy we should live by. Everyone's famous to someone.
Yeah.
How do you enjoy the format of Perfuct versus like the theatre games style?
Versus scriptless? Perfuct versus Scriptless.
Versus the unnamed and other improv company in Christchurch.
I see why you've called me here. You just want the drama.
We want improv war.
Why can't we all just get along? Look, they're totally different beasts. With Perfuct, it's got a really different kind of laid-back rock and roll kind of energy to it. But I think that's the nature of the space. And like it's closer, it's more intimate. It's less expensive to look at. It's all of that sort of thing. It's only 3 of us, and it's 3 very experienced people who have known each other for 20 years. And so I think that there's a whole different particular charm that comes with that ease versus chaos that kind of comes into Perfuct Storm. With Scared Scriptless, you've got a bigger cast. You've got, especially in the last few years, performing in the Big Red Shed. It's this vacuous, like the acoustics get sucked out into nothingness. There's a moat between you and the first row. I feel like sometimes on the main stage at the Court, it's like I kind of, here's my comedy thing, and wait, land, and they laugh, and wait, and I kind of feel that laugh. Whereas here, it's so immediate. Oh, we're literally sitting in Little Andromeda now. So, and also at Scriptless, bigger cast and wider variety of, you'll be playing with some apprentices who, young people like I once was doing this thing, and people who are older than me who have been doing it for longer than me. So it's this huge, I think there's just a lot more, I don't know what the word is, gulfs to kind of take into account. I think Scriptless brings a different crowd as well than Little A.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Are you, speaking of like the vacuousness of the shed, are you excited for the new space?
Oh yeah. I'm so excited. Yeah. I kind of wish they would stop talking it up, because my hopes are just through the roof. Please start telling me some things that are going to be shit about it, so that I can be like, oh, that's not too bad.
I don't have to get my hopes up about that specific aspect.
Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to it being in town as well. Like, I'm looking forward to the day that it's just going to be so easy. Like, oh, I'm going to pop off a little 7 p.m. show at Little A, run over and do a Scared Scriptless at the Court. Oh, yeah. So good.
No driving involved.
No driving.
Ubering.
Just this, like, just hoof it. Yeah.
Show up to Scared Scriptless just sloshed because you didn't have to drive there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you didn't have to drive there, and because Little Andromeda gives their performers a free drink at the bar when they perform. Just saying.
Hint. New business model. We'll see if that ends up in the episode. Please hire me, Court.
Please hire me again.
I have been hired by the Court.
What did you do at the Court?
I was in JC.
Oh, of course you were. Oh, you were performing on that set that I was a mole
that you were
on.
A mole.
Oh, I had the day shift.
I am the reason you got the resolve.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's right.
You're so welcome. I'm glad I did that show, because then speaking to one of the cast, they were like, are you going to audition for Playhouse? And I was like, probably not. And then I thought about it and I did. And that's why I'm here, because I did Playhouse and then asked Michael if there was cover gig. And
And how many years did you tour Playhouse for?
Just the one.
Just the 1 year?
2019.
And then have you been here ever since?
No, I lived in Brisbane for a while.
All right. That's right. You did
2020 to 22, which was the pandemic time.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Yeah.
And just did hospo work over there. Hard to get into performing when you don't know anyone in the city that you're trying to perform in.
Yeah.
So that, but like we had an amazing time, because you're in Brisbane, you're in Australia, weather's great.
Yeah.
And then Brady wanted to come back and study, so we came back.
Great.
Yeah.
And are you happy you've come back? Like, are you like, I get to live more of my dreams right
I am.
here?
I'm so much happier.
Yeah.
Or I'm so happy we came back. Yeah.
I love our city so much.
Mhm.
I think we have a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's only getting better.
I agree.
On that note.
Mm?
Not on that note.
Oh, okay.
Well, on that
Pretending to
note,
make
let's
a
talk about a
segue.
different city.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because you're going to Wellington for
I am.
a bit
I am.
to do a pantomime.
That's right. I'm going to go on Thursday. I'm going to go and do Sleeping Beauty, the pantomime at Circa Theatre. It's the 20th anniversary of them doing a pantomime as their summer show.
Wow.
They do it, so you know how the Court does a musical every summer as their summer season.
Yeah.
Circa does a pantomime season every summer, and this is the 20th. And it's Sleeping Beauty, but it's also Doctor Who.
As is the natural connection.
Yeah, totally. So, like, for example, the Portaloo in Sleeping Beauty, you know, the Portaloo
Yeah, of
in
course.
Sleeping Beauty,
Yeah.
it's also a TARDIS.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you sit on it.
I don't know yet. This is always a fun. I've done this gig off and on over the years, and it's always a very fun time with incredibly talented and wild people. It's a blast of a show. It's just full of, political New Zealand, Wellington, up to the minute jokes, and some nights you'll be performing for 300 people and their families, and then some nights it's like, this is 250 drunk men from BNZ and they are loving shouting it's behind you.
Yeah.
So it's a really fun season.
Another thing that doesn't count is real adult theatre.
That's right. Oh, heaven forbid anyone should ever take me seriously. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would want to mention about anything you've got coming up, or anything else in your
James, I
life?
just said before that 3 months from now I have no work. So I guess 4 months from now, please go and check all of the bridges to see if I'm warm enough under the one that I'm under.
Yeah.
No, I've got
bring your wallet.
absolutely no idea what I'm doing next year.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't that exciting?
Yes, so exciting. I'm really just enjoying this 20 years of excitement I've had in the industry. Yeah,
Hey,
20 years.
You're
of
still here.
Oh, man. Oh, God.
Now, this last question.
Last question already.
Yeah,
Can't believe it.
I've gone through my whole list.
Really?
Unless you have anything else.
But you can't, because I read a couple of transcripts and I can think of 2 questions that you ask other people that you haven't asked me.
I kind of stopped doing it because it kind
Oh,
of...
you stopped doing it?
No. I will ask you.
No.
No, I will ask you.
Oh, okay.
But I felt like it was too... The episodes felt too procedural.
Okay.
Like you go question, then you talk about it a little bit, and then I'm like, stop, ask another question.
Yeah.
Whereas I kind of prefer the... But, okay.
Well, you don't have to.
No, I will.
'Cause
I actually want to know, what is your favourite musical?
My favourite musical? I think the funniest one that I know, I think, is Book of Mormon. And I don't know if favourite is the right word. I hate so many musicals. But I also love them.
What's my favourite? Well, the funniest one.
Yes. Well, but it's favourite. It's not best. It's just favourite. I think Book of Mormon is very, very funny.
It is very funny.
Yes.
What do you
I also
like
feel like
about it?
What do I what?
What do you like about it?
What do I like about it? The jokes.
Yeah, the jokes.
The jokes, man. I'm all about the jokes. I also quite like the fact that we could never do it in New Zealand. And so it feels like it's a real safe one.
They did it.
But they toured it from somewhere else.
Yeah. You
couldn't cast it here.
it. Yeah,
It's a bit difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially here. Showbiz, please don't do. Come on.
You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it.
Yeah. You don't have to fit with the current musical theatre times. Just do Mamma Mia again.
Just do Mamma Mia again.
Dream role.
I don't have one. I don't think I have one. I've got too many.
What's one?
For God's sake. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to combine two questions that I know you ask. One of my dream roles is also the role that I will be miscast in. And go with me on this.
Going. I'm here.
Love it in Sweeney Todd. And I am miscast in that because it is easy to find a better singer than me. I'm telling you.
Sure. But character-wise, I feel like you are.
Oh, give me a go at those jokes.
Yeah.
The jokes in A Little Priest, I die. I just die every time. And so give me a go at those jokes, but easy to find a better
We'll just
singer
take it down a couple keys or change
I
the
don't even
notes
think it's a couple of keys.
or...
I think it's just like other people sound better than me.
Yeah. Hey, you don't have to sound good
Oh,
to be Mrs.
clearly
Love.
not.
To be honest, you don't
clearly
have to sound
not.
good.
Clearly not. I'm about to be employed for 3 months to sing, so clearly I don't.
It's true. In a pantomime.
Exactly. Get away with so much.
Yeah, it's great. Is that good for you? Is that enough of the questions that you wanted to answer?
Well, I mean, yeah. I don't think I had good answers for them, but I made you ask them anyway, which feels quite rude. But here we are.
Hey, it's your episode. You do what you want.
Oh, thanks.
Well, you have already said that you didn't really have dreams.
Yeah.
But being that this podcast is called Broadway and Other Kiwi Dreams.
Oh, yes.
What is your Kiwi dream?
I actually do have that. My dream is 6 months of the year I live in the Marlborough Sounds, and
Just under a waterfall.
Like, there are waterfalls that I like there. That wasn't particularly where I was thinking. I'm not going to tell you which cove because I don't want to get stalked.
That's fair.
But
and I will spend an hour stalking you.
Well, yeah.
We know this.
We know this. You probably actually already know what cove I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Playing a long game with me. 6 months of the year, I live in the Marlborough Sounds. During that time, I have friends come and visit, including friends who are artists doing like writers' residency, like, do you know what I mean? Like little artist things, 6 months of the year. And then the other 6 months of the year, I make movies and theatre with my friends. And for me, that is the dream.
Wow. A hermit actor.
Yeah, that's all I want to do. I want to make shit with my friends and go be in a bush sometimes.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Christchurch and wider listeners.
I actually have so many listeners, apparently, according to my podcast aggregation thing, in America.
In America?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never heard from anyone in America.
Well,
about
come on.
the podcast.
All right. If you're American and you're listening to this, drop us a comment. Come on. Engage with us.
Yeah. Support me on Patreon.
Yeah.
With your American dollars.
Yeah. Do that.
Patreon is in American dollars. So
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. It's always done.
Makes sense. Anyway, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having
Kathleen.
me.
Check out Kathleen in Wellington for 3 months
That's right.
over the holidays,
Yep.
school holidays,
Over the summer.
over the summer. And yeah, anything you'd like to say to sign off?
Thank you for having me. This is an honour.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I won't stalk you anymore. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I hope you enjoyed that conversation just as much as I enjoyed having it. I think that was an amazing conversation. I think it flowed really well, and I always enjoy talking to Kathleen. Go and see Kathleen in Sleeping Beauty at Circa Theatre in Wellington over the summer. And of course, more Perfuct Storm, more court shows, more Kathleen Burns and Christchurch next year. Broadway and Other Kiwi Dreams was hosted, edited, and produced by me, James Shera. You can find the podcast on all the social medias at Kiwi Dreams Pod. And please share this episode around. I think it was a really great conversation that a lot of different people will enjoy, so spread it around. And other than that, have a great day, and I'll talk at you next time on Broadway and Other Kiwi Dreams.